Hey guys, what's up? Hope everything is going well. Welcome back to another quick production tip on Thursday. We're doing this every single week, just putting videos up on our YouTube, connecting with you guys. Any suggestions you have as far as sound design, mixing, you name it, we're going to try to cover it on top of what we already have on our website in our tutorials section, so make sure you check that out. But for today, we're going to do a little quick sound design on Tchami's new bass track here, which I can play for you, what we're going to try to create. Before I move on to it, I'm not going to create the exact sound. It's going to take a little bit longer than doing it quick today, but the main idea is to get a similar vibe that he has with his bass line, and that's this one here. So that's the bass vibe we're going to go for, and we're going to design that in Serum today. That's the synth of choice. If you guys have figured this out on another synth, I encourage you to keep working with that, and just Serum is what we're going to use today. So let's dive right in, as this is going to take a little bit of time. First things first, of course, get your MIDI done to be exactly sounding like the track. Otherwise, it's not going to help you out figuring out the sound design. So we do have that here. It's just going to sound like a saw. All right, so we have our initial patch here in Serum. Let's turn on A and B. So we're going to use both oscillators, and I want to use the filter also. So we're going to turn on all the filtering here so it works with A and B, as long also with the noise section here. All right, so let's just start diving in. The first thing I'm going to start with over here at B, we're going to bring this up. We're going to use oscillator B as a width. You could say the sound design width of this this bass. So I'm going to bring this level down because I don't want to actually hear this saw, and you'll see in a moment what we're going to do to connect this over to oscillator A. And obviously we're a few octaves too high here, so let's bring it down. This should sound like a nice fatter sine saw wave. So let's bring on the sub with that. And we want to bring that down an octave also. So that already has a nice fat sound to it, you know, like that's a cool bass to use. I want to tuck it a little bit more, and what we're going to do to mainly get his style bass sound, if you listen to the notes and how his sustain of his bass is working, the bass line is not actually playing throughout the entire notes. You know, compared to a bass with the sustain full wide open, you're hearing every part of the bass at the same volume. That's not what's happening in his bass line. It's almost as if there's automation going on to start tucking away or cutting it off at the end of these bass notes, and that's what we're going to do with the envelope here in a moment. And if you crank this open, you'll hear the width. If you listen really carefully in the back, the really low part, it's giving width to it. We really don't want that. What we're going to do with oscillator B is actually link it over here. If you go down to FM from B, it's now going to link it over here to use that width into oscillator A. So that sub is a little higher than we want. So we're actually going to start what I would refer to as automating, or using the modulation to now link this to the sub. So we can actually start drawing in how that's going to look. As I was talking earlier with the sustain, these notes are being played full through, right? You're hearing everything, and we don't really want that. We want the cutoff to kind of do the job. So we'll start with that now. So we can start drawing this in now and start creating that curve for that sub to work. I kind of want to round it off so it kind of comes down here. So you can see how that's kind of diving away before the end of the notes, which is what I'm talking about to create that kind of automation style sound. So let's link envelope 2 over to the cutoff so we can start hearing a little bit more top end to the record, because that bass line is sounding like a sine right now, but we really want that cutoff to open up a little bit. So we're going to open that here. And basically we can now draw in our envelope here the curve that we want, the time we want this cutoff to start coming down and then reopen again. And that's what we'll do here. Now that's kind of a shorter, what he has is kind of a shorter envelope here. So we can start messing with that. Without that, you don't have that vibe that he had in his track. You just have that straight sustained bass line. So this is really the key to understanding why that sound, why that cutoff is modulating like that. So if you open this up, you'll hear it a lot. But as I was saying with the sustained notes, that kind of gives that vibe, that diving down vibe. So let's kind of dive into the effects. I want to link up, you guys can hear in his version, again, we're not going to sound exactly like that, but if you listen to his bass carefully, there's actually a downsample or bit crushing top end. Yeah, so you can hear that crunch. Now we could do that inside Serum. You can use your third party plugin, whatever you prefer, but we have the downsample section here, and we can start emulating that idea. So you can hear that top end crunch, and I'm actually going to link envelope 1 to actually modulate this. So that downsample is also diving away with this same curve we were using with the sub. We can throw a filter on here. You can do all of this in your third party if you guys want. This is just to get this going in here. We can throw a little bit of reverb on here to give a little bit more of a plate. I would call a plate kind of a little bit more room to it. You can high cut it. Make sure you low cut a little bit. Definitely get rid of that. Very subtle. It's just giving a little bit of width to that bass, and generally I know you're probably saying bass line should be in mono, you know, definitely, but to give a little bit of width sometimes can be done with that reverb. We can low cut this a little bit here. And to get that crunch, that distortion, you want to really hike this high end up a little bit. Yeah, so we're kind of, you guys can see that we kind of have that vibe of that bass going. The main reason why it's sounding similar, again, is this envelope that we did. We're linking up the envelope with the cutoff. Make sure you're doing that and messing around with that, because you can really start to get cool effects and cool automation kind of modulation going on. So it's kind of a great idea to link up these envelopes to filters, to you know, the sub, and so on. You can do it in the effects section, but that's really it for today, to get that similar sounding bass. Again, not exact, because his record is mixed and mastered and has a lot more going on, but we're just focusing on getting that bass vibe. And if we want to throw a nice sine layer underneath that, just to give that little bit more low end. Just so, for example, if we want to open up Silenth, initialize the preset, and go here, and we can just do a sine wave and bring that down just to give a little bit more low end. Yeah, so definitely try this out, guys. That's kind of it for today. Pretty similar sounding bass, similar vibe to that track, which is cool. So definitely try it out. As I said in the beginning of the video, if you guys have any questions or want to look at our other tutorials, we have our full tutorials listed on our website. They're 20-minute videos and have a lot of more in-depth product here. So make sure you check that out, and we'll definitely see you guys next week, and take care.